Friday, August 9th, and I'm walking towards the station. Can't you see if just didn't want to turn around? I have nothing but blackness meeting you. I'm still fighting the Tourette's a bit, you can hear in my voice. I'm walking to the train because I am in my birth town. I don't even know what's my hometown anymore. I was born here. I live in Copenhagen and feel quite at home there. Have my friends there, have my social life there. And I still feel connected to Roskilde, where I also lived for several years. And God knows where else I've lived around the world, to be honest. But I actually feel at home in Istanbul. Though I'm not so sure it's a good place now with all the things going on. But that's a different thing. I've been here for a cozy little get-together with my family. And it's been cozy. It's been real nice. I've been handing out souvenirs from my London trip, even though my parents were actually there. I bought some souvenirs the last week I was there without them. And I think I've lost my phony, half-assed London accent. It really didn't sound like London at all. It sounded like a bad parody of British people. Actually, it sounded a bit racist towards British people. Felt, but hey, I think I've not reversed. I've gone back to my original quasi-American, international, not really anything specific accents. And as I said, it was cozy. The kids didn't quite understand the souvenirs as much, but in the end I think they were pretty satisfied, pretty happy with it. And stuff happened. Too much eating again. I need to put a stop to that. But one thing that kind of was an introspective eye-opener for me was a talk I had with my brother, because we talked about my situation right now, and we talked about how every time I have any contact with any kind of official system, they look at my papers and they see the word autistic, and then they panic, and then time passes. Then they give me some kind of sob story about how I can never do anything for some reason. And it's not because they're bad people, and it's not because they're actually stupid. They're just willfully ignorant and want to feel that they're treating someone in a bad situation with kids' gloves. Problem is, it's bullshit. And it's quite offensive to me, so I'm carving my own way in the world. I was actually originally told, before I insisted on taking my education, that I would never be a teacher. I couldn't be a teacher. I couldn't have a job. Never, ever. And that I should take the offer of relying on the state for the rest of my life. I said no thank you. And I took my teacher's education. I went to Greenland. It did turn out to be shit, but I handled 8 months in what is professionally a shithole, and pretty much feel that I've proven that I can handle things maybe not like normal people do, but I can handle my shit, pardon my language. But we talked about how the bullshit seems to be rising, about the typical things, lying politicians, crappy programs, fraudulent companies, jackasses, incompetence, people wasting money, people swindling money, and how that seems to be perfectly normal these days. At least in the old days, people tried to lie their way out of it. Now it seems that it's just, well, you know, everybody's doing it. So nobody's ashamed of it, and they should be. Should be very ashamed of it, but they're not really humans anymore, so who gives a damn? And I even aired the idea that I've gone around with about maybe I should get into politics instead of just bickering about it. And I asked my brother if I ran for office, would you vote for me? Would you vote for me? And I'm very proud of what my brother said, without hesitation and without anything other than the idea that it was the perfectly normal and right thing to ask, which it was. He asked me, well, what do you stand for? Not having a political program, I just kind of repeated the things we've talked about and said it sounded all right. But he said, even though he's my brother, he said, what do you stand for? I'm gonna vote for you just because we're blood. I'm proud of him for that. But the thing is, I've thought about doing politics before. I have some connections, I have some knowledge, but I've never really wanted to be a part of the environment of politics. Didn't want to associate with those people, politicians, because everything points to the fact that in today's climate, if you become a politician, you become shit if you're not shit already. The shit is infectious. Pardon the language again. But one thing I've realized has changed about me. I've changed. And that is, I'm angry. I'm very angry. I'm hoping that is not my train. No, it seems to be on the wrong track. It should be, and it doesn't look. No, that's not mine. Happy, happy, joy, joy. But, yeah, I'm angry. I'm pissed at the system. I used to be critical of it, but I used to be critical in a way that I said, well, I'll just try and help them along, because clearly it's because they don't know entirely what they're doing, and they probably have everyone's, or at least some people's, best at heart. The fact is, now I know they don't. It's a shitty system, and it's falling apart because things have gotten even worse, and it's made out of cowards who just push along the responsibility to others. We just push it along again, and nobody stops the buck, ever. So the ship just keeps on falling. I have used that word a lot today. But yeah, the fact is I'm angry. I'm still living perfectly, wow, normal or sane might be bragging, but I'm living a life. I'm not wandering around with a tinfoil hat shouting at various people. I'm just angry about how things are, and I want to do something about it. I'm angry enough for that. The one thing I mentioned after the whole political discussion was that, on a complete side note, that this weekend I'm intending to do something that will probably smash my entire career, or potential career really, to pieces. Don't really have a fully established career in teaching. That would be saying a bit much. That was what I hoped to get in Greenland. Didn't work out like that. Because, you know, beating children will never be okay for me, even if I'm not doing it. Closing my eyes to it will never be okay. So I'm not going to fit in Greenland. But I'm planning on doing the video where I take response to some teenagers that I've long respected, but who have proven that they are in fact teenagers, And like all teenagers, or nearly all teenagers, they are ignorant of the bigger picture because they've never been outside teenage life. Because as a teenager, you haven't. I hadn't. When I was a teenager, I was probably even more naive. But you need to swim in the crap of the world before you understand what the realities are. And I have a bit of a grip on those realities now, and they clearly don't. So I need to inform them in a stern manner, and that is going to make me unpopular in a lot of circles, I'm sure. Maybe popular in some others, but those others are not the ones who are going to pay me, I fear. So yeah, I'm getting ready to throw my entire career overboard, hand my destiny over to chaotic forces of nature or any gods that may or may not exist. And I've realized that it's because I'm angry and I have to do something. It's not just emotional anger. It's a deep-seated, philosophical, personal, professional, humanal anger that I have to do something about. That's not my train either, luckily, because it's on a track over there. So yeah, that's where I'm standing right now. Now I just have to get home, cool down a bit. I usually don't talk about this with my family because they can do nothing about it and it just upsets them. But my brother was clearly upset about a lot of things as well. So I thought, fuck it. Let's do this. And that's where I am now. And I know I've said I'm trying to make this more train. I like trains. I know that I've said I'm trying to make these videos more entertaining and more positive, and I'm clearly failing utterly on that account. But I'm not a comedian. This is not a stand-up comedy show. And these things are weighing quite heavily on my heart. So there you have it. Me. Undiluted. Unplugged. Well, I guess there's a plug involved. It's the internet. But hey, that's life.